Hello everyone, I'm up here at the cemetery today and we have some daffodils. So they're really up in the tall parts of the cemetery, so I guess where the sun hits. But yeah, they're popping. There's a decent amount of them that have actually come up already fully, and then some are still trying, or a good majority of them are still trying to come up. So I think in our week or so of pretty weather and we'll have a bunch of them. These are still, these just now came up. So yeah, um, I'll take a look at the weather and I'll see when the next pretty weekend is, and I'll pick a day for our next event up here. Probably next weekend or the weekend after that. And everything looks good. I walked through the cemetery. Everything's in place. Nothing out of place except for the daffodils. There's a bunch of them. So I'll walk up the upper part of the cemetery here. This is just where the most daffodils are. I'd say probably about 70% of them are still kind of like this. They're still trying to come up, but you have some that have been able to sprout. The weather today is really weird. It was kind of cold and wet when I got here. I started moving some logs on the upper part of the cemetery. The sun came out for a little bit. It was beautiful. I was about to take my coat off, and now it's cold again. Not too cold, but it's just like, it's not as pretty as it was when the sun was out. But yeah, it's my favorite time of the year. And it's just kind of unfortunate because they are delayed this year. They were, this time last year, all of them were out for at least 2 weeks. They were growing at the end of February last year. It's just really cool. A lot of the people buried here don't have relatives bringing them flowers, so once a year the cemetery grows flowers for them. But yeah, since spring is officially here, we're going to start looking into getting this brush out of here and cutting more trees. Then what we'll do is we'll wait a couple weeks after the daffodils die. It'll get really green up here and it'll start growing real fast on this upper hillside, so we'll spray it with cordons and then we'll start cutting grass again. But we have to spray this upper hillside because it turns into a jungle. It's like, I think it's getting better and it's getting easier to cut, but our first couple times cutting this, it was terrible. It was really thick. It was nothing but weeds and thorn bushes, and I don't know what this is. What? Oh, that's part of that wrought iron fence. Okay, it's just laying there. Wow, just caught my eye. This whole section here had a nice wrought iron fence that wrapped it at one point. I guess over the years it fell over and people probably stripped parts of it. When I was moving logs, I was up in this part, and the city comes once a year and they clean up our log pile up here because we started blocking this off. But I actually just started moving my logs in a pile. They pushed all our stuff right there, and I think eventually they'll come and clean it up for us. Apparently the city has some kind of like good deed of the year, yearly good deed, to where years ago somebody said that they want to visit the cemetery, so the city cleans this part up, because we've had brush piles here 8 feet high, and they've come and moved it and got rid of it, and we didn't know that. We were so confused why they were moving our brush piles, but they told us last time that they made like a commitment to family members that I think it's like every Memorial Day they'll come here and clean it up, and they'll open the gate so people can come. They can go up the hill and come down this part. That's pretty cool, I guess. I wish they'd do more, because really before we started working up here, what's the point of visiting? You couldn't even see anything. The overgrowth was so bad, and so many headstones were down and in the ground. So I mean, yeah, if you come in now, you'll see. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get some of these smaller trees out of here, because this is a good view. It's hard to tell on camera. You can actually see everything from up here, but these trees on the camera view kind of ruin the view. You know, these small trees will become big trees in 20 years, 20, 50 years from now, and then in 100 years they'll fall over. So, yeah, I'll clean some of this stuff up right here. We're going to start pushing up the hill next. You know, the only thing down there is brush piles, and there's a couple limbs and stuff that fell, or a couple small trees I'll work on, but up here is where our next work's going to be. And you can see we've been working up here. We just got to get all this stuff pushed up the hill, and it's just so hard to get rid of these logs. We have a chipper, but the chipper's not going to chip this stuff. A chipper does 3-inch diameter. It's not going to chip any of this stuff. It might do your little twigs. So yeah, that's the hardest part about taking care of the cemetery, is figure out where to put all the brush, because there's so much of it. Let's see the little daffodils. It's just such a interesting section up here. The graves keep going. You got Thelma Cottrell. She's kind of her, and Anthony Tribal, which is right there next to that tree, are like the only two actual headstones up here. The rest of them are rocks, and but you can tell they're headstones. Like this one. There's one here, and there's one there. And I'll keep this tree here. I like this little tree. I'm not really sure what kind of tree it is. I need to learn what I need to start studying different type of trees. But I like that one. I'm not gonna cut it. That one probably won't get much bigger, and that's the perfect size. Here's the tanners. I really like these markers. They just took a rock and painted names on them. These are on Find a Grave. I don't know the full name, but if you look up Tanner on Find a Grave, somebody's already done the research, and they know that this guy's probably like William Tanner and his wife, I guess. So somebody's already done that, and that's good, because it's really a miracle that the paint has lasted on these as long as it has. They even painted the footstones. I think this one kind of fell over and probably fell out of the ground, but you can see the paint at the top. I'll probably reset that for them. And here's her footstone. Yeah, very, very interesting stones up in this part. This is the part that we haven't done much work on, but I'm starting to. I like this headstone here. You can brush it off so we can see it. It's like Terry L. Morris, and it has a heart. It's hard to see in this lighting, but it has a heart symbol, and I think it says 1960 or 1966. And it's just like a concrete slab. So that's a very interesting one. Has a big bogus stone. I'm gonna have to. This is one of the ones. This is another stone that I've got on my list as needing work, because I'm gonna have to dig in front of it, and I'm gonna have to see if I can raise it because it's sinking forward. So I want to raise it, and I want to put the vase back on top. The vase keeps coming off. And they still got their metal plaque. Julia, which she's not on this stone, so. The fortunate thing about those funeral home markers is they just don't last. I mean, if they're in a spot where nobody messes with them, they will, but people tend to mess with them. And that's why we can't find half the ones that we're looking for in the main sections down there. Because I think people just walked off with them. There's another one. I remember finding this one. It's I think William Schaefer. Man, I'm way up the hill here. You can see, I think these are like the most prominent daffodils in the whole cemetery right now. This whole section here. What does that say? Children of Charles. That's hard to read. There's some very interesting things in here. This one right here is very interesting. N.M. Schwab, 1927, January 2nd, 1927, March 16th, 1927. So just a couple months old. You can see the logs in this area, like right here. Yep. Pile there. Just piles going up the hill. And this is the next section I want to work on. Yeah, daffodils are trying to come up. Some of them have already coming up. Yeah, everything looks really good. Looks like I'm at 14 minutes already. So, work on wrapping this video up. But I would say next weekend or the weekend after, we'll plan something up here. We'll be real simple. We'll probably have pizza and pop, and you just come up here on a pretty day and look at the cemetery, look at the daffodils. I really think it's the best time of year to come up and visit. So if you can make it, I don't think you'll be disappointed. We'll wrap up near the monument here. And the monument last year, I got a picture I posted yesterday. It was just an ocean of daffodils around it, but it only has a couple around it that's actually been able to sprout, but they're coming. Let's see how fresh that one is. But yeah, you can see where they're going to be all around it again. They're everywhere. I just can't wait too, because last year when the daffodils were up, these stones weren't up. So I can't wait to see what the original family's headstones look like with the daffodils around them. Because this is the original family, the Wells, and then Frederick married Melissa Wells. This is her family, and that's what started this. Frederick's daughter Daisy sold the plots. He might have sold some, but he died in 1909. And he did everything else. I keep learning more about him. He was a school teacher, a farmer. I mean, he did everything. He owned 400 acres. So yeah, I'll keep the group posted on when I decide we'll have that event. I'll look for the prettiest day. And again, these daffodils should be out in full bloom. But yeah, that'll do it for me. See y'all around.